Over the weekend, we heard the courageous story of how one little boy had helped save the lives of 3 others. 5-year-old Christchurch boy Leon J. Cole died of serious head injuries last month, and his family decided to donate his organs to those needing transplants. It's an incredibly generous act, but one that happens all too infrequently in New Zealand. There were just 46 viable donors in the country last year. We have one of the lowest donor rates in the developed world. To find out why that might be and how we might be able to lift rates, Dr. Eric Crampton joins me now. Eric, thank you very much for your time this morning. Are you surprised when you look at our society that we are so poor when it comes to organ donation?
Well, it is really disappointing. We constantly rank well below European norms, well below America, well below Canada. We really should be doing something about it.
Now, what might the reasons for that be, do you think?
Well, we don't have a very well-established donor culture here. It's not really the norm. Well, it's moving towards it, I guess, in some quarters, but only about half of people sign their organ donation card. That's not even considered legally binding as informed consent anyway. So if we wanted to be increasing donation rates, we'd have to be doing something a little bit more.
Is it unusual that in New Zealand, families have the right to overturn the wishes of the deceased? Because I know that there are instances every year where someone who had said they were a donor, that was their wish, had that wish overturned by family.
Well, doctors in a lot of places will consult with the families before going ahead with a transplant because, well, you wouldn't want to be going in with someone's loved one and taking parts out of them without the family members knowing what's going on. They might be yelling at you and be very upset. What we don't have here, though, is as well established of procedures for getting the family on side and saying, well, these were his wishes. Can we then have his kidneys and his liver as he wished?
So what do you mean by that? Do you mean medical professionals have not got training in that? They don't know how to go about it?
Well, it's a very difficult time. The doctors here have been getting better training in that in the last couple of years. The government has been working to try and increase donation rates. Part of it through increased training for those who are in the ICUs who would be communicating with the families about transplantation decisions, but there's always more we could be doing, and especially around encouraging live organ donation and encouraging people to make their wishes known to their families and to encourage them to want to have donation in the first place. Okay,
now you mentioned something there which raises another issue altogether, because when we think about organ donation, we always naturally think about dead people donating their organs. But of course, it's very important in every country that you have a live donor pool. You have people that are prepared to give donations of their organs while they're alive. Our rates are woeful in that area too, aren't they?
Well, they're actually a lot better than our cadaveric donation rates. So we were about 17th in live organ donation in the last years that I'd seen stats on it, and somewhere around 36th for cadaveric. The government has become a little bit more generous with compensation for live organ donors. You can donate a kidney or a liver with less risk than, say, working on a fishing boat for the year, but not very many people do it. We could be following countries like Israel and increasing the compensation given to living donors, and also making sure that they know that should they ever need an organ themselves, they'd be at the front of the queue. That's one of the recent Israeli innovations, and it's pretty successful.
It is hard. It is a sort of hard thing to say, though, isn't it? You know, if you're not an organ donor yourself, then I'm sorry, you're going to have to take second place. I mean, to me, it seems perfectly reasonable, but it's not the sort of politically correct thing you would normally expect a country like New Zealand to do.
So long as you have a lot of advertising around it, and so long as it is just on your intention to donate, not that you're healthy enough to be able to be a donor. If it's just on intention, I can't see any problem with it.
No, I agree with you. I'd love to see us be a bit more hard-nosed. All right, Eric, thank you so much for joining us this morning, just talking about it. Hopefully we'll raise that little bit more awareness. Dr. Eric Crampton. Thank you for your time this morning. It is 6:45 to 7.